as questions arise over patient security at the country's leading referral hospital. Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi slams leaders alluding voter rigging in 2027, says he is confident IEBC will run a free and fair elections. Family of 12-year-old Joy McKenna decries justice as she nurses gunshot wound following the Sabasaba protests. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Let's get this show started. Now, the prime suspect in the brutal murders of 2 patients at the Kenyatta National Hospital has been apprehended. According to the DCI, the suspect, identified as Kennedy Kalombotole, was arrested in connection with the killing of Edward Maingi Ndegwa. Police also revealed that Kalombotole is the prime suspect in the murder of Gilbert Kinyua Mudhoni, who was killed in Ward 7C in February this year. A knife believed to be the murder weapon was found wrapped in gloves and has been sent to the National Forensic Laboratory for analysis.
The DPP could not approve of the charges because they did not have sufficient evidence. The file has been thrown back to them to go and find sufficient evidence. Now, this is a man, you should see him. He's small-bodied, he's disheveled, very sickly, seemingly mentally unstable, chronically ill, suffering from at least 3 conditions, known conditions. Somehow this person was able to commit a murder and cover up the evidence so that there is not enough evidence to charge him. It's a circus. It's a circus. Must end.
The Interior Ministry has for the first time issued a policy directive on the use of force and firearms by police officers, citing Section 61 and Schedule 6A to B of the National Police Service Act. The public document issued by the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen to the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja on behalf of the National Police Service sets out guidance on when force may lawfully be used, considering the prevailing legal framework and recent court rulings. According to the directive, a police officer is not permitted to discharge a firearm at a person unless the officer has reasonable grounds to believe that the person is committing or is about to commit an act likely to endanger life or cause serious harm to the officer or another individual, and there is no other way to avert this particular danger.
It's very clear from the Office of the Cabinet Secretary on behalf of the Government of Kenya and the Executive, and pursuant to constitutional provisions on how the police officers can manage use of firearm and use of force when carrying out their responsibilities, whether dealing with bandits here or dealing with criminals in urban areas or dealing with goons. The good news is today, this morning, I have dispatched the policy to the IG, and it will be shared to the public, giving various recommendations on how they can be able to use force, when they can use force, what is the prevailing legal framework, including incorporating decisions of the court insofar as matters of use of force is concerned. And I want to assure the country that this is the first policy directive I'm giving since I became CS nearly 8 months ago, and this is the only prevailing policy directive on use of force and use of firearm by police officers to either protect themselves and protect members of public, and also when dealing with and apprehending criminals. The policy will be shared officially with all of you, and the contents of that policy will then be cascaded down by the IG through the existing framework to ensure that this matter now, which has attracted a lot of public discourse in the recent past, especially after my visit to Dagoretti and Kikuyu police station, I thought it was necessary to put these policy directives in paper so that I can be held to account by the people of Kenya, and that now IG can have something to work on. So people should stop this idea that I had directed IG in any way in the past. The only policy directive that is legally binding to the IG, and which can be properly debated by the people of Kenya, is the one that I have put in writing and in signature.
Naivasha Member of Parliament Jane Kihara was released on Friday on a personal bond of 50,000 Kenyan shillings after appearing in court over incitement-related charges. Kihara did not take a plea, as the court is yet to determine the legality of the charges brought against her. The matter will be mentioned on July 29, 2025, when the ruling on whether the charges meet the legal threshold will be delivered. The Member of Parliament was arrested on Thursday in connection with remarks made during a political rally. Her lawyer argued that the charges were politically motivated and lacked merit. Now, the prosecution opposed her release but was overruled.
DCI pamoja na wale ambao wanafanya ujasusi, kwa nini vile Kimani Ichung'wah alisema ndivyo mnafanya? Mlisema Jane Kihara atashikwa, sasa Jane Kihara ameshikwa. Mukonji alikuwa ameshikwa. Na tunajua mko na orodha. Lakini haya yote ambayo mnafanya, hakuna ile itabadilisha uamuzi wetu wa kuweza kuendelea kukashifu yale ambayo serikali inafanya.
The decision that has been made is that all the people who are critical of the government decisions are going to be taken on, and charged so that they can be kept busy. And so one of the things you are likely to see, and we know and believe that is what they are doing, is to try and charge all the members of parliament who are affiliated to Rigathi Gachagua and the two opposition.
When Esther heard the king and the people around the king have said, kill all the Jews, Esther remembered she is a Jew and went to the king and told the king, if you kill all the Jews, I'm your wife, I'll be killed too. So I'm telling them, if you hear those around the president perpetrating or coming up with all these plans against your own people, be like Esther. Go tell them, please, when you do this to our people, it will be us who will be next. So it is a Bible verse, so go read it and read it very well. But what we are saying is that we are not going to be cowed. We'll go on with our meetings.
Wale watu wote wamekufa, wameua guns wangapi? Sisi tunajua aliua kijana wa mask, wameua mtoto Dumberi, wameua mtu mwingine alikuwa Ido. Hakuna hata sura ya guni yote tumeona amepigwa risasi. Kwa hivyo hii ni mambo yao, na sisi nasema hawatatutisha. No amount of intimidation itatutisha. Hii nchi ni yetu.
Never been booked. So nimefika climax. Kwa hivyo mtu akifikiria ataninyamazisha ajue amesahau. Tena niambie President Ruto, with Ichung'wah as your friend, you don't need any other enemy. With Ichung'wah around you, you need no other enemy. Kwa sababu huyo ndiye anakosea wa Kenya. Najua alinitusi, akaniambia ni behave my age. My age ni hii. To fight for Kenyans, to fight for my people. Hata kama ningewekwa cell wiki mzima, I am prepared.
Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi has cautioned politicians against casting aspersions and doubt on the newly reconstituted Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC ahead of the 2027 general elections. Mudavadi said that the commission will hold free, fair and credible elections in which President William Ruto will win a second term democratically through the ballot. Speaking at the Western Kenya during the Women and Youth Empowerment Programs in Malava and Shinyalu constituencies in Kakamega County and Busia County, the Prime CS delivered a firm rebuttal to these claims and reassured the public of the government's commitment to democracy and the credibility of elections.
IBC imeundwa na IBC si IBC ya serikali ya Kenya. It is not an IBC for the government of Kenya. IBC ni tume ya uchaguzi ya taifa la Kenya. Kuna tofauti kati ya serikali ya Kenya na taifa la Kenya. Kwa hivyo IBC itasimamia uchaguzi wa kila mtu kutoka kule mashinani hadi juu. Kwa hivyo nataka wale ambao wanajaribu kuleta porojo, let us not undermine the integrity of the IBC, kwa sababu hiyo ni kupanda mbegu ya chuki ya kusema kwamba wakati Ruto atashinda ameiba. Wewe, kazi ya Ruto si kuiba kura. Kazi ya Ruto ni kutafuta kura kwa mwananchi kwa njia ya demokrasia na kupeana mwelekeo na uongozi kwa taifa. Kwa hivyo wewe, kama una fikira za kuiba, tafadhali usiweke Ruto kwa fikira zako za kujaribu kuiba kura. We want free and fair elections, and we shall have free and fair elections. President Ruto wants to win, and he will win through the grace of God, through a fair election. Tunaelewana kabisa? Sasa wewe usitembee hapa kwa barabara ukisema mambo mengine.
A family in Meru is crying for justice after their 12-year-old daughter Joy McKenna was allegedly shot and left with injuries during Sabasaba protests witnessed within Meru town. Josephine Karegi, the mother of Joy, says her daughter was injured as police officers dispersed demonstrators on July 7th. The girl was taken to Meru Level 5 Hospital, where she underwent surgery to remove what doctors described as multiple foreign bodies lodged in the left deltoid muscle. McKenna was treated and discharged to recover at home and is in a stable condition.
Daktari akakuja akasema mtoto apigwe CT scan juu anaona kuko na bullet ndani, lakini zimdirect kwenye yako, asimfanyie operation mara mingi. Tulienda tukapigwa CT scan live care, tukarudisha. Daktari akakuja akasoma kukiwa Friday, na kesho yake akasema huyo mtoto ndiye anafaa kuanza dieta njuni emergency.
Other independent investigations to the circumstances of the shooting. We also want to understand why was Joy involved in the shooting. Accountability from the police officers that were involved, and we also want to make sure that appropriate legal action has also been taken on those police.
Vile daktari ameandika, anasema kuna fragments na foreign bodies, na hiyo tu kwa vile sisi tunajua maneno ya silaha na risasi, hiyo si risasi halisi live round. Hiyo uwezekano wake ni tear gas, fragments ama rubber bullets.
Police in Oljoro, Orok, Nyandarua West are investigating an incident where a 24-year-old lady, Nanjala Muthoni, was allegedly murdered by her boyfriend at 64 Estate before hiring a tuk-tuk to transport her body to a local facility and later on to the Nyahururu County Referral Hospital, where medics confirmed she died hours before her arrival in hospital on Wednesday. Police arrested Muthoni's boyfriend, Alex Ndungu, and 4 other suspects who allegedly helped him to carry the body to the tuk-tuk. A post-mortem examination conducted on the body of Muthoni revealed she died as a result of strangulation and blunt force trauma to the head. Muthoni also had visible marks on her face. The family is calling for justice as they prepare to lay her to rest.
Mtoto aliuliwa juu alikuwa amenyogwa na kukoseshwa hewa. Lakini tumefurahi juu DCI wa huku wameshika watu 5 wako huku polisi, na natarajia watapelekwa kotini ili haki ya mtoto wangu ipatikane.
We need to have a forum. Watu wakae chini, wajue what is going on. Tukue na hiyo, tukue serikali at least angalie kitu. Si hata vijana bado wanauawa, hata watoto wanauawa at young age. Wacha watu wakae chini waongee what is going on. Hata kama kuna challenges. Na ningetaka kuomba hata wasichana hawa wadogo, ukiona mtu amekugonga mara ya kwanza, don't wait for the second time.
KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli has called for calm and an end to anti-government demonstrations by the youth. Atwoli is asking Kenyans to be patient to allow for economic development. Speaking in a conference for African workers, the KOTU SG urged the youth to be patient with the government and allow it to deliver the administration's manifesto and to embrace peace. He urged youth to embrace dialogue with the government and for them to be strategic when agitating for change. Atwoli, called on politicians to stop using inflammatory comments and to stop inciting Kenyans.
For young men, the Gen Zs, I want you to remain home silent, to quote about peace, forget about demonstrations. Demonstrations are scaring investors away. Patience pays other than moving faster, because government can only be able to create employment for them if there is an enabling, peaceful situation in this country. That is why I have seized this opportunity to warn my own Kenyan politicians not to turn what they are supposed to do, that is politics to be an industry, politics to be a place of trying to agitate for things that do not exist, and also inciting Kenyans.
All right, on that Atwoli's note, we take a quick break right here on Weekend Edition. We'll be back shortly with more news making headlines. Don't go too far. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Police officers in Kakamega town have launched investigations following the discovery of the body of a man brutally murdered, his head severed, and his body dumped by the banks of River Sichirai in the Sichirai village last night. The deceased, Geoffrey Meta, aged 44, was an employee at a local restaurant. According to his wife, Judith Mukasia, her husband left home on Thursday morning for work, but did not return home as usual. The family received the news of his death early Friday morning. Residents have blamed the Kakamega County government for failing to complete the construction of the new Sichirai market. Now, Kakamega OCPD Vincent Cherutich confirmed the incident, saying the body was discovered early morning by commuters.
Jana saa 7 akitoka akienda kazi, na akienda kazi wanarudi karibu saa 4 saa 5 hivi. Sasa hiyo masaa nimengoja sijamuona. Imefika saa 6 nikaamka nikaangalia kwa saa nikapata ni saa 6. Sijamuona. Asubuhi ikafika ndio nilikuwa nimeosha mtoto nataka kumpeleka shule. Huyu ndiye amekuja akaniambia kuna mtu anasema wameua kwa barabara huko. Kuja tuende tuangalie tuone ni nani. Nikamwambia usiongee hivyo sababu hata mimi bwana wangu alienda kazi jana saa 7 na anarudingi saa 4 lakini hajarudi. Wenye tumekuja kufika hapa nikapata.
Na tunashuku hii soko yenye iko hapa karibu majambazi wanajificha ndani, wametujengea soko, wamekataa kuingiza nafasi kwa ndani, majambazi wanajificha ndani. Tunashuku hata hao watu wametoka hapo wakakuja kuua huyu mwenzetu alikuwa anatoka kazi usiku. Sasa tunaomba governor akuje amalizishe hiyo soko, watu waingie, ama kama sio hivyo aweke bus police station ikuwe hapo. Ni hayo tu, tumepoteza mwenzetu, ni kijana mpole, ana maneno, anafanyanga catering, anaenda kwa, sasa alikuwa anatoka kwa hoteli, anarudi nyumbani usiku na akavamiwa na majambazi hao.
It's alarming because sasa young generations tukikuwa affected hivi, then it means the government is failing at large. Kwa hivyo upande wangu I've lost a colleague tulikuwa tunapiga naye shughuli, and then the government should work towards weke hata kama ni lights huku chini, because wenyewe mmeona venye kunakaa kuna ni light, ukipita hapa saa 2 saa 3 kuko in dark sana, it means si poa sana.
Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti has launched a bursary program worth 120 million shillings which will benefit students from needy backgrounds. Speaking during a bursary launch event for the year 2024-2025 held at Ivumbuni Primary School in Mumbuni North Ward, Governor Wavinya said that one of her pre-election pledges was to transform the education sector by supporting programs that improve access to quality education for every child in Machakos County. The governor noted that the county government of Machakos used a fair criterion to identify the beneficiaries of the bursary, calling on principals from schools in Machakos County to allow students to continue learning even in times of delayed payment.
Today, I'm launching 120 million worth of education bursary that will benefit a total of 28,628 students drawn from across the 40 wards. Those are 28,620 students. Hawa watoto wangekuwa wako nyumbani, lakini sasa si wataenda shule. Na nishukuru walimu. I want to thank the teachers. I want to thank the principals. Thank you so much. Tukiwapigia simu amkatai, mnakubali kuweka watoto kwa shule kwa sababu mnajua sisi sio watu wa midomo mbili, sisi ni watu wa mdomo moja. Tukisema basari itakuja inafanya nini? Inakuja. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana walimu. Kama mnajua tulikuwa na shida, tulikuwa tumeambiwa tusipatiane basari kama county governments. Na tukakaa chini na serikali kuu through the Department of Education, through COG, tukawaambia ni kitu cha maana sana sisi kama county government tupatiane basari kwa watoto wetu. Yes, members of parliament wanapatiana, lakini hiyo basari peke yake ya members of parliament haiwezi kusaidia watoto wetu. Na sisi tuko na nafasi kama county na pia tunaokota on source revenue. Ni vizuri turudishe pesa kwa watoto wetu. Na ndio tukakwama hapo kama COG na wakakubali tusaini mkataba na wao. Kwa hivyo kutoka sasa sisi kama county governments tutakuwa tunaweza kusomesha watoto wetu.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to protect children from all forms of exploitation as the world marks Day Against Child Labor. Speaking during the event, Haman Shambi, the Secretary of the Administration at the State Department for Labor, said the destiny of every nation depends on how it treats its children. The government has elevated the Department of Children's Services into a full-fledged state department with a dedicated PS to strengthen child protection frameworks. Shambi urged the public to report child labor cases via the toll-free helpline 116 and warned against the exploitation of minors under the guise of offering education.
Tutembee mtaa hadi mtaa, nyumba hadi nyumba, uchochoro hadi uchochoro, kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna mtu anaajiri mtoto wa mwenzake hata kama kijakazi nyumbani. Sababu kuna tabia na wengine wanatoa watu sehemu fulani za nchi wakiwaleta kwa kisingizio eti wanakuja kuwasomesha, kumbe amemleta kama kijakazi. Malipo ni hapa hapa, mbinguni ni hesabu. Usomeshe wako, ukatae kusomesha wa mwenzako, hata wewe wako hata kuwa na baraka. Kwa hivyo imefika mahali sasa hili swala tulivalie njuga, tuhakikisha kwamba wote wanaoandikwa kama domestic workers ama housemaids ama house helps ama vijakazi wawe wamefika umri wa kuajiriwa.
Kulingana na takwimu zilipo saizi, karibu watoto milioni 1.3 kwa hii nchi Kenya wako katika child labor. Lakini global statistics zenye zilikuwa released 12 June, ushirikiano ya ILO na UNICEF inasema globally tuko na watoto milioni 138 walioko kwa child labor. Na kati ya hawa actually the sub-Sahara Africa about 87 million. So ukiangalia sub-Sahara Africa ndio ile eneo kubwa globally yenye ina contribute to mambo ya child labor.
Tunapoongea kuhusu watoto kuwa katika kazi, tunasema tunaona kwamba sababisho kubwa ni watu kukosa kazi, ni umaskini. Sasa shirika la FKE linahakikisha kwamba watu wanakuwa na kazi, tuweze kukuza ajira zetu katika Kenya, tuangalie watu wasio na ajira, tutoe watu wetu katika umaskini, na tunahusika na tuna collaborate na serikali ili tupate kuweka mikakati ambayo itawezesha viwanda zetu kukuza ajira.
All right, at that point, we wrap it up tonight. The broadcast is done. See you Monday, same time, same place. Thank you for watching. Our sign language interpreter is Laura Omondi. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Have yourself a blessed night and a blessed weekend ahead.